All right, you guys ready to start?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay. All right. Welcome to, thank you. Welcome to the last week of RC3 this semester. Pretty much next week we don't have anything formal planned. There's finals right around the corner, so we still have the room reserved, but so you can just come chill, hang out, study, ask us questions, do nothing, nap, don't come, or whatever you want to do. Next week, nothing that formal. So this week, also pretty informal. We're just going to be talking about the CTF. How many people did the CTF? Hands. They did it. You guys did it. All right, most people did it. Cool. So basically, we're just going to be, eBoard is here. We wrote most of the challenges. We're basically just going to be, if there was one that you couldn't get, or yeah, basically if there's one that you wanted to know how it's done, just raise your hand and we'll walk through it for you. But before we do that, we just want to have a little bit of a discussion about what people thought about the CTF. Did anyone have any feedback? Did it suck? Was it good? What was good? What was bad? Yeah, Will.
Good job.
Thank you. I mean, no, thank you, but we want to make this better next year, right? So
Yeah.
if they're help us make this better for next time.
On the, things
What did we screw up?
Yep. Yeah,
Or what was good.
What did we do wrong?
Yes, Will again.
Don't have the site go down repeatedly the second the CTF apologizes.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we wrote that one down, but what's up? I don't know. Anyone else up here? Same thing.
Is that something about web? Is that the same thing?
I don't know. All right. What did Sean say? Do we want to do this first? Do you want me to announce that first?
There's another hand.
Oh.
Just shout it out. Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
Slightly more time might get a few more things solved, but that might also defeat the purpose.
Okay. Yeah, I
So
don't.
instead of a weekend, would you want a week or?
Maybe a week, because I don't know if it was easy to write the rate. I had a lot of work to work on writing into it, so I didn't have enough time.
Did you play with it after it officially ended? Because we've left it up for the most part. So if that happened, you could at least still try it. Did anybody actually work on it after it ended? Since we left all the challenges up, or most of the challenges up? One person? Cool. All right. It was worth it then.
Overall worth.
Okay. Do you want to do it?
Do what?
Yeah.
Sure.
Which?
So before we jump right into it, we do actually, this was a competition of sorts, so we actually do have some winners we want to announce and some actual prizes for them. Some of them might not all be here.
Yeah.
Kristen?
So the first place RIT team was Team Contagion, and if anyone's here, we have prizes. So how the prizes works is that the first team will pick out whatever prize they want, and the second team will pick out whatever prize they want, and the third team as well. Right now we have boards, the Raspberry Pi kit, and an Amazon Echo Dot. So Contagion, anyone from Contagion? Yay!
Cool. Good job, guys. You do have some paperwork you have to fill out. But
Yeah.
You have to sign something before you can take. What do you guys want?
yeah. All right. Do you want to do that while they do this?
Get this form.
Just so.
Oh yeah. Can you say one for Luke?
Yes.
Sorry.
What?
Keyboard.
Hold on, let me get this real quick. They're trying to get everything off.
Your name, email,
And the echo.
Cool.
Okay. The second team was Elders of the Internet. Anyone here?
They're like grandfathers.
Students have become the masses.
You can do that.
Okay, and the third team is Bring C Sexy Back. Right? Did I say it right?
Bring C sexy back.
Oh.
Yeah. Never really planned for it to be said out loud.
Yeah.
All right.
Ryan's in the bathroom. I'll tell you that. Shannon's supposed to be here. They'll be here by the end of RC3. I'll tell you that.
Alright, so take this thing, sign the form.
Wow.
Alright. That was fun.
Okay, now we're gonna. What do you want? Now we're gonna cover the.
Yeah.
All right. So first, before we cover like just general challenges, were there any specific challenges you guys wanted to see?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay.
Who did the emoji you want? Wait, Nick.
Which
that was Nick.
one?
Emoji, what did you want? Crypto math class.
Wait, let's write it down.
Yeah, write them down. What else? Any specific? Yeah. Bank.
No, that one is not allowed.
Oh.
Nobody solved it, so it's
Wow.
being reused.
Oh. Damn.
No.
Oh my
bank.
God, was that Jamie's?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No surprise. No surprise.
Math, Will? Anyone else? Nobody solved all the challenges. Like Debbie. I don't remember Debbie.
Dude.
Can you do
If any,
Debbie?
can I do what?
I don't know how Debbie works.
Maybe.
5 people on.
It was Jamie.
Jamie wrote Debbie, and
Yeah,
he didn't
yeah.
put it up on the website.
Oh, okay. But I think people solved it.
English class?
English class, maybe.
Report card.
So like all the crypto ones.
All of Greg's.
Wow. What a shock.
You can just put Greg's. I can go over all of them.
Great cyberspace.
Cyber sports. All right.
Where are the write-ups located?
I don't know.
Or the documentation?
All right.
Well, most of the
Anything else?
documentation is on the GitHub.
Yeah.
Cat attack.
It's really easy. I
Ah.
was playing for 3 minutes.
Yeah,
He just went over the thing.
All right.
The port not.
Wood knocker.
Sorry. It's easy. It's super
There were actually 2 port knocking ones, so I have to ask.
And,
Um,
one of them is.
All right. We can start with these.
All record type you requested.
So who does this? Does anyone know how to do that one?
What?
which emoji?
I assume that's Nick's. Hey, wait. For
Oh, I know how to do
emoji,
that.
is that MISC 100 or something?
I'm pretty sure I know how to do that.
The
Just use the encoder.
where
Yeah,
is it?
isn't it?
This one that I don't have the fonts installed for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Hold
Joel,
on,
you
he
can do that.
messaged me about this. Let me pull it up.
Joel.
Hash you make against what they said first.
Kristen, what's up?
Instead of
Against
cat
what
attack, I meant like the one of
they
the buttons we
calculated
did.
to make sure that there was no
yeah.
attack. And then to make
Yeah,
sure
okay.
that the public key they sent you is right, there's also a record. So if you're example.net, then the .net
Bryson,
will also send you the S record, which is
Kristen.
which is the their public key. But example.net's public key.
Right, so knocker. Who knows how to do knocker?
Going up into the root servers. Then the root servers you have a special way of
Anyone know how to do that one?
authenticating the root
What?
servers. public
Knocker.
key.
We're gonna try.
Whatever. We'll figure it out. I gotta.
Where did that drive?
Here, take the.
Email,
I gotta get the. Where's that?
Have fun with the UID, kids.
Where's the drive link?
Oh, I don't know. I need to make sure Reds is still up.
Okay. Give it a second while we get the right files out. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like about the same thing. Like about kids watch 3 videos and the same thing. If you watch the videos,
All the crypto ones, and just put them into the correct.
Where would the?
he has 15.
It was in the thing, wasn't it?
No,
He explained it and then explained it again and then answered questions and then put in videos. So the entire class was just like 5 minutes.
Ah.
On the midterms.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Misk.
This.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Right. I remember. Okay. So.
Wait, that's the title. You copied the title.
That's fine. Wrong side.
Okay. I got him, maybe. Okay. Let me pull up the CTF. What was it? CTF to RC? Okay.
A second while I rewrite that.
So for the emoji one, this. So this was an alphabet of like emojis. So you had like A, B, C, D, E, F, like A through Z, and then the characters for base 64. So if you took the secret string, oh, my mouse is not where I think it is. What? Oh, that's where, okay. If you take the secret string, which was this thing, and you convert all of these into characters, they're ASCII characters, you would get this string. And if you base 64 decode that, which I'm gonna do online.
I found them in the drive.
You get this. You get the thick padding. Yeah, because what you could look at was at the end of the. Oh my God, where's my? There it is. So at the end of the emoji, there was the two eggplants, which is like the two equal signs at the end of a base 64 string for padding, and then you would know that that was like what the D letter would be, and then you could go from there, or the equal sign. Easy. What's next? Oh, me again. Okay, hold on. You're gonna have to give me a minute to figure out how to do this. Yeah. Oh no, there's only, okay. There's no documentation for this.
Isn't it your challenge?
No. This is Jamie's. So, if I remember correctly, they did some really weird stuff with this to make it compile. It's actually all on the Git. Should be fine. So, all the challenges and stuff are online on GitHub. So this is, well, most of them, not mine, and like a lot of other people's. So this was actually just the binary, but the source code for all of it was here. So you had like all this chaos, and then some weird stuff. They used like a Python script to like format everything to like actually generate the code like dynamically, and all this stuff. But it spells out. If you look really closely, you can kind of see it.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can. Maybe I can make this a little easier to read.
No, that's not helpful.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, highlight the ones.
Yeah, highlight the ones.
Yeah.
Highlight the ones.
Highlight the ones. Good idea, guys.
I know, so smart.
If you send it to grep and you do it empty or it'll show everything.
If I do it what?
So
Oh
send
yeah.
that to grep and then for your expression.
Okay. Yeah.
Do one or.
Yeah. Okay.
And it'll work.
Hey Joel, Bim, question mark 1. I'll highlight it.
Oh. I see.
That's actually not a bad idea.
I did not come up with it. It was boy Zach. Look at that.
Is that
There we go.
maybe the zeros would be easier?
Okay.
Probably.
Question mark 2. Yeah, that one was
Oh wait, sorry.
All the way at the bottom.
You gotta remove all the.
Scroll up.
You gotta remove all the 0x's at the beginning.
There it is. See, there's a pattern. Do not see.
says what the flag is.
Yeah, no, I see that it's like, I've seen this in hack stuff before. People do this shit.
Okay. Do you see it? Do you start to see it now?
Yeah,
No? A little bit?
Anyway, it says something like suck my
So
eyes.
there's like R, and then C, 3. There's like brackets and stuff. It spells out the flag. It's horrible. We didn't write it. Somebody else did. Blame him. Yeah, brutal. That's it. Somebody else take this over.
Cyber sports. Oh, that's me. Okay. All right. Did anyone even try cyber sports? Who tried it and then got really mad because it was just a video? All right, cool. You got further than the video.
Oh, this doesn't make sense because it's out of order.
You were supposed to go to the professors. They had the flag. Each of them had one. You didn't knock on their office. No. All right. So all I gave you, I think, was this IP address with this lovely video that we don't have to watch, but it's really funny. Basically, all right, well, let's actually just see a part of it. So, all right. So we've got this guy, and he's going up to these houses. Let's actually stop that real quick. And, sorry. So he's going up to these houses, and he's knocking on the door, and he's trying to see how long he can keep the door open for. Like, it was like this prank video from like 8 years ago. I thought it was hilarious. So, anyway, we'll just let this play real quick. So, like, he's there, and over the course of each house, he goes to 3 houses. And over the course of every house, he knocks on the door several times, and they open it, and he talks to them, and then they shut it in his face because he's being annoying. In every clip, there's 3 houses, and every time when he approaches a house, like, I tried to pause and kind of messed up. Right here, whoops. Give me a second. You can see what door he's knocking on. Huh. So he's knocked on 70. This is house number 74. Somewhere up here.
Oh, jeez.
It's house 105, I believe. That one's kind of blurry, so people are messaging me confirming. I believe we decided that one was 105. And then the final one is number 1. So there are 3. He went to 3 houses. He knocked on them a certain number of times. So this might be leading you to think that there's some sort of port knocking going on to start off this challenge. So I did leave like a hint because it was a little ambiguous what a knock was, and I counted it as the number of times that he like went up to a door and like knocked on it and then like stepped back. Sometimes he would like hit it really fast and it was hard to count. So I wanted something that was a little bit easier to get a count of and also have the numbers be more reasonable. So the final thing here is if you, let me hope I don't mess that up. If you view the source of this, I made the video take up your entire screen no matter how big your window was. So just to make sure you guys would watch it right. But if you pop in the source code of the website, you can see there's a little comment here that says when you figure it out, you might want to check out the FTP server, but you got to go fast. What that last bit is, so by now, port knocking opens up an FTP server, you got to connect to it, potentially download something, go from there. The gotta go fast part is there is a timeout. So when you complete the knock, your IP address has, I believe, 15 seconds to connect to the FTP server. Once you're connected, you're fine, but if you don't initiate a connection within 15 seconds, you got to do it again. Make it kind of a janky way to stop like people cheating on NAT. If a school had like one IP address for a lab and there's multiple teams, one team did it, then the other team would like accidentally get it. So it's kind of a janky way to stop that. So, all right. Where is this? Okay. So, now for the fun part, we're moving this over. So, oh, that's tiny. So there's a daemon called, or a program somebody wrote called knock that basically does the knocking for you. So what we've got here is knock, that's the IP address, neg, the hero of the video, knocked on the door, knocked on 74 3 times. He only knocked on 105 once, and then he knocked on door number 1 5 times for a resounding score of over 10 minutes for keeping their door open. A lot of people thought the times in the video had something to do with the challenge. With that, but I didn't. A lot of people were like doing some weird stuff with the time. And then once that's completed, we've got like a 1 second delay just between every knock, so this will take a couple seconds. And then once it's done, try to FTP in passive mode, because I was doing this at home and you need to do passive mode. But all right, cool. We've connected to Red Secret Stash. That sounds fun. All right, cool. We're logged in. Let's have a peek. Oh, message.png. That's it. All right, we should probably get that. Message.png. Ooh. All right. All right. So let's look at all the solution files. But we do have message.png, and if you do file message.png, it's a PNG. Let's take a look at it. I wonder what it is. Maybe it's just the flag. That would have been easy. Oh, that's really dark. All right. Huh. That doesn't look like any flag I've ever seen before. What is that? Anyone know what this is? All right. Okay, so what?
Look like lyrics.
Yeah, it's the lyrics to Guns N' Roses' "Knock on Heaven's Door." Yeah, that's not the flag. So a lot of people did this, and they're like, "Oh my God, there's zlib data. We gotta extract it." It's not zlib. Binwalk, when it doesn't know what something is, it calls it zlib data. Yeah, a lot of people are like, it's corrupt. Like, I can't extract it. I'm like, well, it's because it's not zlib data. Stop doing that. What's the best way to do this? All right, so if we do this, it's kind of big, but we can see most files have some sort of magic number at the start of them. So, for example, the file command, that's usually what it's doing, is parsing the first couple bytes of a file. So, for example, for PNG, it's dot or whatever 89, and then the bytes corresponding to PNG, so you know it's a PNG. A lot of people are like, "Oh my God, you made it with GIMP. What's going on?" I just forgot to take that out. All right, so we're gonna just hold this down because I forget where exactly it is. It's pretty big, you can see. Hopefully this takes, all right, never mind. We're just gonna go to the end. If you go to the very bottom of the file, you'll notice that there, I wish I remembered where it was. Okay, actually, hold on, let's do something else first. So, message.png, let's take a look at it. Sorry, just L, message.png. All right, so this is 572,018 bytes, and this was a hint I was giving people, and they're like, "What?" That number is even, and that's important. So, if you notice binwalk, let's do this again. If you notice, it's in hex, but that zlib data is exactly halfway through the file, and that's also pretty important. So, I remember how I did it now. No, just to show you, I know how to do it, I think. And all right, cool. So this is the end of the PNG. So PNG actually also has, not all files will do this, but PNG actually has something called a file trailer as well, and that's pretty straightforward. It's a set of done. In this case, it's pretty English friendly and says end. That's cool. So this is exactly halfway through the file, and we're noticing that the subsequent bits are all 0. And if we go down to the end, we'll notice that the final bits are also all 0 of this appended data. And this appended data is exactly the same length as the PNG in front of it with the lyrics. So, how do I describe this? So, everyone know what anything XORed with 0 is? X XORed with 0. What is that?
X.
It's X. Awesome. So, if the header of this mysterious blob of data is all 0s, and the trailer is all 0s, and it's the same length as the PNG in front of it, let's try XORing the second half with the first half and see what we get.
Wow, let's try that.
Let's try it. Hey, somebody got it, so.
Was it you?
No, it wasn't me. All right, so, oh man, that's kind of big. All right, so I have this like questionably good Python. Basically, it just opens it up. It loads in the first half of the file, and then.
We're gonna talk about this later.
Okay, Dad, I'm sorry. And then it XORs it with the second half, and if we just do that real quick, it'll take a second, and then we get this file, which is another PNG, obviously, and this one looks a lot more friendly. So that's how you solved Miss 400. That maybe should have been a 500. I was very, like, I gave a lot of information away if you asked for help on this one, but, like, nobody asked for help. So, be that a lesson for next time. All right. Thank God I'm done with that. All right, someone come do crypto. Yeah.
You were asking for feedback.
Yeah, what's up?
Maybe with challenges like that, kind of like how the blank lesson ones were split into parts, maybe split something like that into parts that are dependent on the previous ones, so that if you do something like figure out the knocking part, then can't figure out the weird XORing part, your time's just not completely shot. You can still get some points for it.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, yeah.
Google Drive?
Okay. Let's try it, dude. Dude, if you message me, I tried my bestest to help you without telling you what to do.
Give me the flag.
That's what was happening. They were like, dude, just give it to me. All right.
Can't you just mirror your...
I can, but that requires pushing like one button.
Hold on.
Alright, fine, I push the button. Yeah, but then my notifications will go. But... Alright, you're in the right.
Okay, what do people want to see first for the whole, like, school crypto challenges? Math? Okay.
You need to do the other ones.
Just do them in order.
Oh, yeah, I'll do it in order. So... Actually... Copy.
Oh, it's sideways. It's sideways. No, it's not.
Okay, here's English class, and it says this new English teacher isn't wasting any time, so much old vocab to define, better get started. So when you get like an English, like crypto stuff, what's like one of the first things you guys would think about for solving?
XOR. I think about XOR a lot.
Yeah. But so for this one, Greg gave a hint of using read the first letters of each word. So you have G, U, T, E, N, B, R, E, G. You have all those letters, and it would spell like the Gutenberg project, dictionary, sorry. And you would need to look up that. Oh no! Oh, hold on. What did I do?
I don't know. Why'd you do that? No, do that.
I wanted the
Shortcut. There you go.
Okay. So you would go to the Gutenberg dictionary by various. And you need to download this whole book, and you would need to find like all the words in the PDF file. And basically, once you find the definition of each word, you use the number, the page number that Greg gives you as like the line. So if I
You can use the HTML version. It'll just take a while.
What do you want from me?
How do I use the
What do you want?
plain text?
Don't worry.
Greg.
There it is.
Gregarious.
Down to.
Okay, so we have the first word is gregarious, and you would use you would use the 10th let you get the 10th letter of the definition. So you go to definition, and you find the 10th character, which should be H 1, 2, 3. Wait. So the 10th letter would be Y, and you do the same thing for every vocab verb, and you would end up with this right here. So G corresponds with Y, U, O, and basically this whole phrase spells out your solution is finding meaning. So the flag was just finding meaning. Yay.
Spent like 5 minutes trying to figure out what part of the definition for the word meaning was the flag.
Okay, does that make sense to everyone? Alright, and then I'll move on to science class, which is the periodic table. So Greg just gives you this, and it's kind of vague, and I kept on giving hints on to everyone, like what's the most dominant thing you would learn in chemistry? Does anyone have any ideas?
Damn right.
That's biology.
The mitochondria is powers
Let's
of
do biology.
bio.
Chemistry.
How to make bombs. What? You want me to elaborate on that?
You're on the right track-ish.
Joel, you gotta stop talking.
I gotta stop myself here.
So anyway, this looks like the periodic table. So if you look up periodic table.
Finally, the team.
ptable.com, best website ever.
Oh, sweet. That's another site.
What's the first link? Wait, you clicked it wrong.
Aw.
Damn it, why can't it be doing
So you just pick one of the periodic tables and you match like the element that you see in the PDF with, oh, wrong one, with whatever the colors. So the red element will be like the first element you need to find, which corresponds to BE, and then you can just do the rest on your own, and it would be BEERGASES. So just beer gases. Yay!
Understand. Clearly.
Let's see. Okay, did anyone solve history class? Okay. Wow. So you're given this like crest that has like a weird dolphin on it, and you should be able to use like Google to figure out that it was Ben Franklin's crest. And if you look up Ben Franklin cipher, cipher. If you look up Ben Franklin cipher, you would get like the Dumas cipher. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but you would get this. You would need to use this yellow text with the numbers that Greg gives on the bottom of the PDF, and in the write-up, Greg gives like a Python script so that you can see how he solves it, but ultimately the flag is the Polymath. Oh yeah, these are all like posted on the GitHub, if anyone's seen it yet. Okay, so math class. Did anyone solve math class too?
Still have it.
Okay, this one was kind of hard. I got a lot of questions, and yeah, it was pretty hard. So, so you can see that the math, like, it doesn't really, or it's not like some of the questions are not correct, such as 54 plus 21 is not 57, but Greg wanted you to take each like number and turn them into Braille, so like the 4 dots, 2 dots, and etc. And the Braille would translate to fixed math, diff or abs, or diff plus 1 for negative. So that would mean take the instruction between the given answer and the real answer. I'll make it bigger. And if that answer is negative or 0, take the absolute value of the difference and then add 1. So that would give a number from 1 to 6, which can be turned into the letters, like 1 is A, 2 is B, and so on. Here are some examples. 42 plus 1. The actual answer is 71, since 42 plus 29 is 71. So therefore, the answer you would get is 1, which is A. 54 plus 21 equals 57 on the PDF that he gave, but the actual answer is 75. So you would need to take the difference between 57 and 75, and that's a negative number, so take the absolute value of that and then add 1. And so 19 would correspond to the letter S in the alphabet, and so on and so forth. Once you're done with that, you would have ASCII given rows 1 when prime or end in 2. It was a little ambiguous because there are no like periods, and I got like several people like saying, what does this actually mean? So I actually put a period for them to figure it out. And this instruction means to turn each row of numbers and turn it into a 7-digit binary for an ASCII representation. And if the number ends in 1, it's prime, or if the number is prime, it will be a 1, or else it's just a 0. So you would take the answers that you got from the previous, or no, you would take each each number, like 42, 54, and turn it into a 1 or 0, depending on if it's a prime or if it ends in 2. And then you would get flag sum array man. Okay. Okay, the last one. You would need to solve every other challenge just to solve this one, and it was pretty hard to understand, or I was having a hard time understanding it when Greg gave it to me. So you're given this report card, and the first thing you had to do was take the grade that was given and match it with, use it as an index for the subject. So D is A, B, C, D. The fourth letter, P, E, R, S. So the first letter is S, and then B, you take the second letter, is U, and ultimately all of these spell out subdermatologic. I don't know how to pronounce this. And if you Google that, it would just, you'll find the Wikipedia page for that isogram, and you would need to input the flags that you found from the previous challenges in here, and use the isogram to make it, or to arrange it so that it spells out NIGHTMARES, which is nightmares.
You can check off the ones that are done. It's priced in now.
Who is my turn?
Yeah.
Yay! Yeah. My broken challenge that could be solved so many different ways.
Who's doing knock?
Oh, Jamie put this stuff on the GitHub.
Where's my iPad? That's cool. That CAD emoji I've never seen before. Okay, so... Oh god, how do you use your keyboard?
Yeah.
Why is there a function key there? Oh my god. Okay. Oh, you closed the drive. I need that back.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Look at all my homework.
Yeah, let's go through all of Ohan's drive.
Go to starred and then CTF. Starred on the left. Or you can do CTF and then G.
Oh, look.
Answer, rip.
Documentation. Where am I? Okay. So, we have this work of art, which I had lots of fun making, and I knew people would appreciate my cat pictures. But in essence, it's really a simple page that just has a single input box and nothing else to do on it. So I didn't want to make it too complex or anything. This is our cat sharing page, and you might notice that, you know, there's some crazy things going on. Like, the title is all, like, reversed and backwards and stuff. And that's stuff you can do with Unicode characters. Or, like, a lot of emojis are also encoded the same way. So that might also point you to, like, Unicode characters. And we live in this great world now where ASCII isn't enough for some reason. And we have to deal with that in parsing and sanitization and stuff. So, just use English. Yeah, so basically here, you can look around. You might try to input your image tag, but we're not going to waste time with that. And the admins obviously have to make sure every cat picture is really a cat picture. Otherwise, we'd be the worst cat sharing site ever. So you might try to, you know, attack the admins in some way. Why is your buttons up there? Oh my.
You can use it like a normal touchpad.
His right click and left click are above the touchpad.
You can also just right and left click on the touchpad like a normal computer.
So you might have seen my comment in the source that admins need to go to /admin to review submissions. That's like way too. It's down there. It's down here. You can't see it. So you might think, oh, I want to go to /admin. That would be great. Like, I want to review my submission. There's probably a flag there or something. And I can show you. It won't work. you're not cool enough to be an admin, and they know, okay? They're suspicious. So cross-site scripting is a pretty big thing. You know, you'd embed an image, some sort of script tag, and they'd be looking for you when they render that. So what I was trying to point to is that there's an issue, and this is what after you sanitize. So you take input, and then you say, I don't want any script tags or less than signs or whatever. You sanitize it all. But with Unicode, you can do normalization. So, like, there's these crazy, like, full width greater than... Did I spell that correctly? Unicode has this great full width greater than sign, which looks exactly like the greater with sign, but wider. So maybe you don't want to have to handle that in the back end. So you just want to normalize that to the normal greater than sign, stuff like that. If you do that after sanitization, though, you can get script tags that work. So I have this payload here, which I will paste onto the website and hopefully try to make bigger. Although it might be easier here. Oh, hon, how do I zoom?
Control plus. Shift plus.
Oh, that's FN. Okay.
You can also use caps lock because I don't have a caps lock.
So I have this payload here, which was an example of what you want to do. So you know you want to do cross-site scripting, so you had to get your script tags past them. And you might see that my greater than signs look really like way different than my less than signs. And that's because they're Unicode greater than signs, which would bypass my parsing. So you could just check this on the website with, that's FN, with any, you know, script tag you want. I provided feedback to you in the other box when you submitted. So you can see, oh, when I put in that bigger greater than sign, it sent me back a normal greater than sign. That seems kind of like an issue. Yeah. So the approach then was to use that to execute whatever payload you want. And once you knew you wanted to do that, and you, well, it just happened, and knew you wanted to get to /admin, you just made the admin who's going to review your picture make a request to /admin for you, and then request back to your IP or whatever the result of that /admin. So I like to use requestbin for this. It's this great website that basically just allows you to make requests to a temporary URL, and it'll show you what you get back. So we take requestbin, we take our nice payload here, and we'll just replace our IP with the requestbin. And copy that. You could have done, you know, a few different ways, but I think this is the most succinct way, just to use AJAX calls natively. We paste that in, we send it, and we can see here that we got returned with our full script with the correct tags and everything, and hopefully did those requests for us. So we go back to requestbin, and there we go. We got a request from the admin on the site because he fell for our script trying to look for our image tags and our pictures, and he sent us the flag, which was on the /admin page.
Dank.
Apparently, you could also just like double up on tags, and that works too. So if you just like wrapped your script tag in an A tag or like double script tags, apparently that also defeated it. So I know a few people solved it, or 2 people solved it that way as well, but I tried.
The cat gifts were truly distracting.
I'm sorry, I didn't think about that. Like, I figured, so in my development, that site only curates like a certain number of cat pictures. So in my development, I blew through all the cat pictures that were in the API. So I figured most people would see them all and ignore them. But I apologize for distracting you with cute cats instead of doing CTF.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
That's part of the challenge. It's a welcome class.
Right,
It's a welcome distraction.
The most distracting challenge is 2017. How many people didn't play the Mario game?
Haha.
2. Okay.
How many people played the Mario game and made it to the point where you can no longer progress? Oh god. 3? Oh god. Yeah, that was a challenge.
What was with the random text in the underground segments that was just confusing?
Where I rearranged blocks to look like letters.
Yeah, in the underground section.
So when you edit ROMs, like, it's in a certain format, right? Basically, it has the coordinates of the block and the number of blocks you're going to have and the type of block. And so you can't, if you're like hex editing a file, you can't just insert like bits where there aren't bits. So you can only use what's already available to you. And so I was trying to like write the flag out in blocks, but there are not enough blocks in a single Mario level to really do that. Along with the fact that if you put too many blocks on the same page, your ROM just kind of craps out and is like, I can't handle this right now. And then you lose all your blocks. So I forgot to pull those out. Yeah.
When I found the actual solution, I didn't realize the last tile with the wall was part of the binary string. So I had to do like some weird XOR round letters and stuff, and it was...
Yeah, I ran out of fire spinners. Is there another challenge, or?
Is that it? There's no more challenges people want to see?
Knocker up there with a question mark.
Oh yeah, no one knows how to do it. Is that one even up?
Yeah, there was a right up of that. It's one of the first ones on the right up.
You just want to go look at the right up first?
Yeah, what's that GitHub again?
Kristen?
Hey, look at that. RIT what? C3. What, oh, this one. Right. So, wait, this is by Newman.
What?
You did the knocker.
No, I didn't.
No, you didn't?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you just posted it?
Yeah, no, Jamie wrote it.
Oh, Jamie wrote it, that's right.
Yeah, no, it's just that, because that's the last commit, is the one that I added.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I saw this.
This is the one, this is his Python challenge.
Yep.
Where you respond and it gives you a question and you have to respond really quickly.
Yeah.
With Python.
Yeah, you program it, so you just interpret the instructions with like pumpkins.
Yeah, we can look at his script. Is this the server script or is this the solving script? Yeah, this is the server script. Yeah, the general idea there is you create a Python script that somehow just evals whatever question he gives to you with pwn tools or normal eval or painstaking work, and then return that as fast as possible when you knock, and then eventually you would get through all of it and get the flag.
And he like trolled you if you eval because evaling random stuff from the internet is bad. So the last one like makes a file on your desktop.
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, that is not good.
Which one? What? The Android app?
Alright, what's up?
CAD attack.
Alright, CAD attack, cool.
Thanks, Joel.
I did.
got it from here.
No worries. Just curl and pipe it into Python too. Okay. Here we go. Wow. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, he's grandpa, your dad. And Sean as well. Make me something proud. I'm not mom. Not you, mom. Not you. Other Sean. Yeah. Other Sean. Yeah, I think they're all. What?
All right. I'm just gonna show the actual thing. I don't actually know how to make this larger. So hold on. It's really large. I mean small. Okay, it says not to do that, so I think. Cool. Can you guys see that a little better? Hopefully. Okay, so I would solve this live, but it's a pain in the ass. So, yeah. Basically, this is the source for the app. I can, if you want like much more info on this, hit me up later because this is a deep topic to go into. But basically, you can decompile all Android apps to Java source. It's pretty easy. If you decompile this, you'd probably see similar to this. And this is the important line here. Well, one of them. So this loads a library called native-library or native-lib, which will Android. When you load that, it'll convert that into lib native-lib.so, where .so would be the compiled shared object libraries that it compiles out of this C++ code. So this was fun. So whenever you load something, system.load library, whenever you load that in Java, this is JNI, Java native instructions, I think. Basically it allows Java to interface with C++, or C, whatever you want. So when it loads a library like that, it calls a function called JNI onload. Now, I was mean, so in my JNI onload, I did a thing called register natives. Now, in Android, you can do, basically, you define an array of methods. You have your Java method name, the Java bytecode signature, and a pointer to your actual method. And that can be static, which means that when you compile it, your symbol isn't exported, and it just looks like a subroutine, and nobody really has any idea what's going on if you've obfuscated it. So when I get my class string here, I left that in plain text to hopefully make it slightly easier. Basically, it just finds the class and then it registers that. So that way, in the Java code, when this, where is it? When this has been declared down here, I don't know if you can see that. This genNextLetter, public native. So whenever you call genNextLetter, it's gonna know to call the native function instead. So that would call this. Now this is really just gobbledygook. It's meant to confuse the hell out of you. It's literally just XORed. I split it up into a bunch of different arrays. I put a bunch of variables on here, so hopefully they would show up on the stack as just being allocated randomly. And then I added comments for myself for ease. But basically I just go through the indexes and I figure out which character array I need to pull the characters from depending on the index. And that number, the index combined with, I think it was an XOR key. Oh no, it was the Fibonacci sequences. So every level of the CAD game, you might notice it would get increasingly longer if you actually played the game. You'd have to tap the number of cats for that level nth Fibonacci number. So 41 levels, it's a long number. I made it purposefully impossible to do by hand, even in optimal conditions. So instead you could do it with a variety of methods. You could actually look at the code. You could just reverse engineer it and figure it out. Or you could use Frida. So let me see if I can pull up my Frida script here. Hold on. Oh, you know what? I know where it is.
What's Frida?
So Frida is basically a dynamic instrumentation framework. Allows you to hook methods, interface with classes. You can create classes, create instances, interact with existing instances of classes, replace methods, monitor what data goes in and out of a method. You can alter basically a program entirely without source code, and it's super useful. So I use it all the time. Ooh, I don't know if it's gonna let me do this. Okay. Yeah, this will work. So this would be. Oh, okay, it's not there. So basically, what you can do, I'll basically tell you what it did. So if you look at the game activity, a lot of this is really just code to make the cat move around the screen in a random position. That's a lot harder than you might think, especially without lagging the whole phone. So basically, when the cat got clicked, it would call update level text, and it would add 1 to the level number, and then it would check if it was right, and then update level text would just, you know, get the level string from here and update that. And when it would update the posts, the points, this was Fibonacci. So if you do 1 plus the square root of 5 to n minus 1 minus the square root of 5 to the n, and then you divide that over 2 to the n times square root of 5, it gives basically the Fibonacci number. That's like a non-recursive way to generate the nth Fibonacci number, because once you start getting to the 40th Fibonacci number, the phone can't recursively calculate. It's too much recursion, so it crashes. Yeah, so basically it would call with that Fibonacci number the level and your current points, and then that would call whatever the native library needed to do, and that would return a single character. So it would figure out, based on the index, like I said, you know, like less than 3, and then like between 3 and 7, and all the way through, and then it would just XOR it and return that character, and then it would just add that onto the end of the game activity, which was this, which is not what it looks like, because everything was done dynamically. So, but yeah, it wasn't that hard if you could get past the obfuscation and understand what was going on. Does that make sense? It's basically just an XOR hidden in native libraries. Yeah.
What I was trying to do was modify
the small. Yeah.
To make it so every time you hit a cat, it would generate a letter.
Right. So you could do that instead of. What you'd have to do is you patch the Smalley code, so we're checking if level number is equal to level count. You could just be like, if level number equals level number or something. And you could patch it through the Smalley and then recompile it. I usually go a step further and go to Java, and then I just figure out how it works, and then don't bother patching because it's a pain. But that's how I do it.
I couldn't get it to recompile from the Java.
Yeah. If you guys want to talk about mobile more, that's what I do. So just hit me up. Cool. Any other questions? Cool. Oh, do you have anything else planned?
No.
No? All right, you guys can just chill, do whatever. We're kind of just gonna. Sean is taking care of his girlfriend right now. She is sick.
Oh, no, I already announced that. Yeah. Oh, actually, kind of informal. I was gonna ask this on Slack. I might have an official poll, but. Obviously, we have another semester of fun, but I haven't actually planned it all out for you guys yet. So if there's stuff that you want to learn about, please let me know. There'll probably be a form soon, or if there's anything right now you just want to shout out. So this semester we tried kind of to tailor a little bit more to the CTF with the kinds of stuff we were covering. And for those that don't know, in the spring, which is our red-blue team competition, and we want to focus a little bit more our weekly meetings on preparing you for that. So if you're interested in things like instant response or forensics or something like that, we'll probably get more in depth about things like that. Maybe even a little bit more in red teaming as well, even though you can't do that at IRSec. But it's still a good skill to know. So if there's specific topics that you would like to see covered, or something even that you don't want to see covered, let me know.
On the slide real quick.
Yeah, there's an obligatory thing we need to talk about here. Who doesn't know what net neutrality is? Anybody? Okay. Well, for the uneducated, understandable. I understand. Basically, net neutrality is. Oh, that's not what's up. Net neutrality is the concept that the internet is free. It's an unregulated space. You can't censor things. You can't tell people what they can and cannot do unless it's illegal. Please, I mean, okay. assume your own risks. So basically, the FCC, the Federal Communications Committee, is trying to get rid of net neutrality and make it so that ISPs can do whatever they want. They can monitor your traffic. They can essentially add fast lanes into the internet. So if you want to watch Netflix at the normal speed without waiting for buffering or watching it at 480p, you're going to have to pay an extra $15 a month. That's kind of fucked up. So it appears that Reddit has gone ahead and filled the entire front page with the representatives, the senators who voted to get rid of net neutrality and how much they got paid. Just, oh my god.
Wait, she will not sell you out. Keep her in office.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Massachusetts.
Wasn't Bernie like the top one? Bernie's on the top, I think.
Do you like Bernie? Vermont.
Look at the guy at the top though. This is New York. All the way up. Very top.
Oh, that mustache.
That mustache. You got it.
Oh, bless. Anybody want to check their state?
No, but go back to New York. Go back to the front page. Look at the very top one.
You're from Vermont?
I'm still right there. Look at the guy at the very top. Just open the picture. That mustache.
Wow. Thick.
Wow. Wait, what's New York?
He's saving the people.
This is New York.
That's New York.
That's not a district. It's a state.
Oh. It's also a district.
Wow. Honestly, didn't really expect much from those guys.
Don't forget though, Stranger Things has been removed.
Yeah.
This guy's
Did make it through the front page.
Oh my god.
Things did make it through.